Hey folks, welcome back to Three's In. I still have coffee, so you get another story. This story is about a classmate of mine that I met while going through pilot training from Denmark, Chris Knudsen, and his wife Anne-Marie. Met Chris the first couple days of pilot training. We became friends, and we remain friends to this day. He and Anne-Marie are just great people, and I just love them to death. At any rate, because I suppose of my upbringing as an Air Force brat, I just gravitated toward people that I met from overseas. And like I said, the more I got to know Chris, the better I liked him. Chris had training in a Chipmunk aircraft. He's talked to us quite a bit about flying the Chipmunk. I had no clue what he was talking about, and it wasn't until here last year or so I actually saw one. But he would tell us what it was like in pilot training in Danish Air Force, learning to fly the Chipmunk. And I was thinking to myself, boy, am I glad I didn't have to go through that. T-41s was enough to handle. At any rate, we went through T-41s for the first 6 weeks, and then we were both assigned to the same instructor pilot in T-37s in Tweets. Russ Sweets was our IP. Now, at the time, I lived in the Gold Talon apartments with my wife, and there were four of us in my class who commuted together. The four of us would meet, pile in the car, and we'd drive to the base. Chris lived a little further up Pat Booker Road and in another set of apartments. And often, because Anne-Marie wanted the car, she would bring him to the base. There would be days when the four of us would pile in the car and begin heading home. We'd see Chris standing out by the road waiting for Anne-Marie to come. And I don't know, it's juvenile in nature. Okay, fine, I'll give it to you. But as we went by Chris, the four of us would flip him off just because we could. And Chris would stand there and look at us. And so one day he pulled, and he would wave politely. And one day he pulled me and said, Bob, he says, what is with this sign you give me? So I told him, and as we kind of let it go, until kind of late in the program, we were heading home one day, and bright sunny day. I could still see Chris standing out there. And as we're driving by, Anne-Marie was standing there with him for whatever reason. And I said, hey guys, I said, Anne-Marie's with Chris. I said, let's not flip him off this time. And everybody kind of agreed. So as we drove by him, we all just sat there and waved, and Chris went like that. And we just go, Jesus, we have really corrupted an ally. But at any rate, just fun people to be around. One night, I don't know whether it was New Year's, could have been, I don't remember. Chris and Anne-Marie had Sue and I over to their house, and I'm thinking it was New Year's. But at any rate, he introduced us to schnapps. And I didn't know a thing about schnapps. I'd heard about it, but I didn't know anything about it. But he pulled it out of the freezer and poured us a glass. And he says, now, Bob, he says, you have to drink this schnapps with a Danish beer and a fried egg. Well, okay, let's go for it. So Anne-Marie was frying the eggs, and I don't know if they served them on bread, or I think they did. I don't remember. But anyway, seemed fine to me. It went down really well. I developed a nice taste for schnapps, even though it kind of tasted like kerosene, I remember. But at any rate, I remember coming out of their apartment, and I thought, you know what? Drinking schnapps is really not too bad. I don't feel too bad at all. And I remember driving home. We only lived about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from where Chris and Anne-Marie's apartment was. So I told Sue, I said, I feel fine. So I just got in the car, we drove home, went to bed. Next morning came, I woke up, I hurt like crazy. I can't describe it to you. I felt like I was incapacitated. I rolled out of bed and crawled into the living room. I could not get up. Crawled on the couch and I think probably fell back asleep or passed out again. I was a hurting puppy. I'm really glad that wasn't a Sunday evening. We had to fly the next day. At any rate, that's the last time I've had schnapps. I just decided I wasn't going to get anywhere around that again. Anyway, we graduated in April of '71. Chris went back to Denmark to fly F-100s, and I was flying C-141s. We stayed in touch over the years, and after 10 years in Danish Air Force, Chris went to SAS, and the friendship continued. And here a few years ago, I took the opportunity to go over to Denmark to spend a few days with Chris and Ree. And what a great trip that was. They were so gracious in taking me around Denmark. I'd never been to Denmark, so we went to Copenhagen and went south to a German POW camp, and I was just amazed. I didn't realize they had a POW camp in Denmark, and of course we went into Germany and saw a few things, and they were so gracious, and it was just a fun visit. At any rate, I just wanted to take a minute. I've heard from Chris here at Christmas, and just enjoy hearing from him. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge him and Anne-Marie for their friendship and the laughs we've shared over the years, the experiences we had, and it's something like that. You just it's a treasure. So, Chris and Anne-Marie, if you're watching this here soon, cheers. That's with coffee, not schnapps. Good to see you.